We don't get to do this often, but today we are doing a What Would Glen Do? And we've got Hudson. He is in the studio, lives in Tasmania, in Newcastle, dropped in, and we're doing a WWGD. What up, Hudson?
How are you, Glen?
Good. Thanks for dropping in.
No worries at all. My pleasure.
So, look, if you are new to the podcast, a What Would Glen Do episode, basically we just go through someone's current situation. We then look at, what they want to do, what some of the options are. I might give some clarity, and then I might also tell them if they're on the right track or on track, a track. And effectively, we just kind of have a chat about, Hudson's situation. There's a heap of stuff here that we'll get to. But I will say at the outset that this is general advice only. I'm not licensed to give personal financial advice, but we are licensed to give general financial advice. So we will be talking generally. If I see a need to refer somebody to a financial advisor, a mortgage broker, a solicitor, a priest, or a gardener, I will do that. I've got no problems recommending people on when it goes further than my own skill set. But, we are making infotainment here, and we'll try and get a bit pervy on Hudson's situation. You ready to go, Hudson?
I think so.
All right, let's get it on right now. Before we get into it, this show is general advice only, and I've got a license to provide that advice. Full details can be found in the show notes. I'm a former financial advisor. Now I do the Money, Money, Money podcast. If you're a regular here, we call it M3, and we do a podcast called Retire Right. I've got a book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, is available wherever good books are sold. There's a link in the show notes if you want to turn up your investing to 11, or if you're just getting started. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here today. Maybe we start with your current situation. So tell us about yourself and your family.
I'm 27 years old.
Yep.
Live in Tasmania, in a sunny little town of Ulverston.
Yep.
Best town in Tasmania, if you ask me.
Where is that? Northwest or something?
Northwest. So it's not far from Devonport, if you know where the Spirit goes in.
Yeah.
Best town in Ulverston, completely unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
I'm married. My wife's name is Abby. She is 26 years old.
Yeah.
And we have 3 young boys, ages about to turn 8, 6, and about to turn 2.
Wow. Awesome. And what do you do for work?
I work on the railway as a welding supervisor. It's my official title. Unofficial title is basically everything that needs doing.
Yeah. The duct tape. What's Abby doing? Is she working outside the home at the moment?
So she recently came off Centrelink payments for our last youngest child.
Yes.
She's works for Jim's mowing franchise.
Yep.
A few days a week, although the last few years she's barely worked, obviously, because of the child.
Yeah.
She's recently started those hours back up about maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And then in the last maybe 6 weeks, she's started working part-time, casual, for the NDIS. So she works 3 days a week at the NDIS, and then a couple of days a week with Jim's mowing.
Yeah. At least you can turn Jim's up and down, right?
Yeah. Well, that's her father owns that.
Right.
So it's,
hey, Jim, what up?
he looks
Jim,
like him too, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a bit of a running joke. But the benefit of that is the flexibility. The NDIS pays more, but the flexibility from the gyms is good.
And what type of, you don't have to tell everyone your exact income, but just give us a bit of an idea of what's walking in the door each year.
So my base is 100.
Yeah.
And then with overtime and whatnot, it's regularly around the 140 mark.
Yeah.
And did you want household income or?
Yeah. I mean, bit of mowing in NDIS, it'd have to be sitting around 60, wouldn't it?
It will be, but this will be the first year of that, I would say. Yeah, based on the last, several months. But like I said, with the maternity leave and all that, and then she hasn't had that big of a break, as you can imagine, between having young kids. So there hasn't been a big return to work.
And with your work, do you work locally or do you travel for work?
I work local to Tasmania, but everywhere within the state. So unfortunately, I do travel, and it is one of the big disadvantages of my job is that, it's infrequent, sporadic working away from home. So it's generally will be, say, 4 nights a week if we work Monday to Friday, but project-specific jobs will sometimes require we work what we call a block, so say either a 10-day or a 12-day block. And being away from the young kids is getting harder and harder, and it's something I am looking to get away from.
And with the 3 kids now, is the collection on pause? Is it stopped? Are you still collecting?
It's absolutely stopped.
Yeah, okay, definitively.
As scientifically won't be starting again.
Yeah, until it does. Cool. And what's the living situation?
So we are owners with a mortgage.
Yep.
It's our 3rd house, but not all at once, as in we've bought and sold 2 previous houses. This is our 3rd house that is likely to be our forever home, but not definitely.
And what's that worth?
It is hard because it's sort of a unique property. So for context, I'm more or less in town. Mm-hmm. It's 4-acre steep block with a really nice view. Mm-hmm. But it's surrounded by 23 town blocks.
Right.
So a bit hard to get an accurate estimation. I would estimate in the region of 600 to 650.
Yeah. And 4 what's the usable acreage? 1?
If that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the vast majority of it is steep and zoned medium landslip, so very difficult, if not impossible, to build on. But it would be a dream of ours to build a new dwelling somewhere else on the block if possible, but that's possibly not going to happen.
Yeah. And how much do you owe?
Currently about $435.
Cool. What are we doing in terms of, we'll talk investments. Who is your both like super with?
Both with Host Plus as a result of the Barefoot Investor.
Right. What investment option?
The index balance.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know about that?
I've heard you mention it on
if you went to the default option, you would do more after fees.
I have heard that, yeah.
So there you go. Fees aren't everything, but
that is true.
You're both with Host.
They are the one thing you can control, though, I suppose.
Yeah. All good. What are the super balances?
I'm not exactly sure on Abby's. Understandably quite low given the age and the 3 children.
Yeah.
I think maybe between 5 and 8.
Yeah, cool.
And mine is 90.
Yeah, nice. What other investments do you guys have, if any?
So we have an investment in the civil investments company that I work for.
Yeah.
Which is owned by the vast majority of the shareholders. I think there's around 34 or 35 shareholders that own it.
Yeah.
And of them, probably 15 to 20 of them work within the company. So in 2013, the owner that previously ran the company had sort of made some poor decisions. It was on its knees, and a bunch of the employees and engineers and managers decided to get together and
co-opt it.
Yeah, bought it out.
Yeah.
And since then, they've had an investment scheme, a shareholder scheme, where you get the option to buy in if you're at the level of supervisor or above and you've been there for at least 1 year.
Yeah, okay. And how many employees in total in the company?
So it's a couple of companies. So it's one civil investments company that owns a few companies.
Yeah.
And I think the total it's over 200, I would say, maybe 230.
Yeah. So decent size.
Yeah. We work for the rail division.
Yeah.
Bit of a long story. We can get into that if you want. But
So you own the holding company, and that holding company has rail,
yes,
civil, or whatever.
That's correct.
Okay. And
predominantly civil. They do have some property investments and whatnot in a few other companies, but it's predominantly civil infrastructure.
And how do you hold the shares in that?
Through a family trust.
Yep.
Which is, as I'm getting into this, I'm realising I'm probably going to have to take a few steps back to sort of explain the situation. So myself, I've got quite a large family. I've got 6 older siblings. I'm the youngest. myself and two of my older brothers, so three of us worked on the rail for a local company, and we decided we were going to start our own company. We'd been there. The eldest had been there about 13, 14 years at the time, and I was the youngest. I'd been there about 6 or 7 years, I think, when we started it. And we decided we were going to buy a weld truck and a high rail excavator and essentially just wet hire out. So myself and my brother as welders in the truck, and the other brother. Sorry,
welder.
Yeah, pretty well. And the older brother in the rail excavator, and essentially just if you need our service, we're there for an hourly rate. That was our business plan. We went and paid for a business plan. We sort of got everything going, started getting the ball rolling on talking to banks and talking to potential clients. So we, as part of that, in terms of hoping to get the finance together, we talked to all the big players in Tasmania, big players for Tasmania, that is, and essentially tried to get like a letter of interest. It was barely worth the paper it's written on, but we were hoping it would help our application to the bank, basically saying that they would be interested in using our services. And when we went to one particular contractor, they were very interested. They said, yeah, we'd like to set up a meeting with the CEO and whatnot. We had a few meetings. They said, we're interested. We will use the service. We'd also like to buy in. As in buy 50% out. And we ummed and ahed over that. We kind of wanted to run our own business, but also it was a massive risk. We were looking at borrowing probably around $1.2 million for the gear. Sorry, I should mention myself and both of the older brothers, we all, coincidentally, and this was part of the reason why we decided to start our own company, is that sort of the stars aligned. We all had a reasonably modern property that we were living in, and we all had then just moved in the space of about 3 months. My brother owned a block and they just finished their build on that house. My other brother bought another house with 2 acres, and I bought my current place with 4 acres. Yeah. And all three of us were looking at renting out the properties we were moving out of as investments. But when we decided to start the company, we all renovated those places and sold them. And that was a share of those funds were what we were putting towards the initial equity investment for the company, which was around $800,000, of which we were hoping to put about $600,000 in.
And is that what the trust is set up for?
Yes.
Okay,
so we started...
So who are the primary beneficiaries of the trust?
So we each have our own family trusts.
Okay.
And that the trustee for all three is a company, which is called Spicer Brothers Investment Company. And that is the trustee for all three trusts, but our shares and beneficiaries are all within our own individual family trusts, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah. So the trading entity that was going to be the company
became the trustee. Yes.
Okay. Right. On what advice? Not that it matters.
Just an accountant.
Okay. But that trading entity now, it had you, your brothers, and the third-party people. That proprietary limited company now doesn't exist anymore as a trading entity.
No, it's simply it's still a company, but it has nothing.
That's right.
Goes into it. Yeah.
And then the shares of that company are owned by each family
individual trust. Yeah,
and
it's just controlled. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So your family trust, who's the so the previous trading company is the corporate trustee of your...
Yes, okay. That's correct, yeah. It is a little bit messy.
Yeah, it is. And this is, accountants are like, oh, just do that because it saves you in fees. What, $300 a year? Get a grip. Like, just set up different trustees. Okay, and then the primary beneficiaries of your family trust is you and your wife.
Yes, and the 3 children, yes.
Yes, yep. Okay, cool. So... what does the trust own the shares in your employer company? Yeah, cool. And what do you think that's worth?
Well, they get it independently valued once a year, and it's due to get valued again next month, but the current valuation's $214,000.
Do you know what the cost base was Like how much
we initially put in.
Yeah.
150, but we have reinvested an extra 14.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just call it 165-ish of your own money in that. And do they have like set liquidity events where if someone wanted to sell, like is there any?
There is provisions in their agreement for so they have once a year they have a market date, so it's very illiquid.
Yeah.
I'd say less liquid than property.
Yeah.
They have once a year you can essentially trade in and out. They can buy and sell shares. But they have provisions in there for like if you really needed to sell, you can do it sort of in halfway throughout the year. But the annual buy-in market transfer date, I think they call it, is in late September, so coming up.
Yeah, cool. And that's all that the family trust owns?
And about $14,000 of Vanguard.
Yeah, so the Vanguard is owned by the family trust?
As well, yes.
Are there any losses sitting in the family trust from the money that you put into the company?
No.
Okay. So in Vanguard, is that in the Vanguard personal investor platform or as an ETF on its own?
Yeah, just managed funds through the platform, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what managed fund with that 14 grand?
So it's just VGS and VAS, so 50-50 split of Australian and international.
Yeah.
I went with a nice simple one.
Yeah. Now talk to us about your emergency fund or how much cash you kind of have in your life.
Our emergency fund has historically been way lower than it should be.
Yeah.
And we have a historical problem of hanging on to it. Every time we've sort of got one up and going, which have always been probably still smaller than they should, but, we might put $5,000 or $10,000 in there. And there's always some event. It's never an emergency, I can tell you that much, but there's always something. And then, you look back in 8 months or a year time and you're like, oh, well, our emergency fund's now $1,000.
Yeah.
We've really struggled to hang on to it. And it's something I really need to improve.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's not an emergency fund, it's a bank account.
More or less, yeah. So it's got about $2,000 in there, but we have other savings.
Yeah. What are the other savings?
So we're with Up Bank, so obviously, as you know, they've got a lot of different savers.
Yeah.
So it's spread across a lot of different savings, but it's about $8,000 all up, maybe $8,000 or $9,000.
Yeah. Cool. Any other assets in your life other than cars?
Don't believe so, no.
Sweet. Do you have your life insurance sorted?
I do. So it's just through the super.
Yeah.
So life and TPD is 1.27 million. And we haven't got Abby's up yet, but we need to do that very soon.
Yeah, cool. Do you have a will in place for both of you?
No.
So talk to us about the cars.
So I have a work ute that's full personal use. So
that doesn't cost you anything?
No, it doesn't cost me anything. And my wife drives a Kia Carnival, which is maybe $15,000, maybe $16,000.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to change the car situation?
Well, yes. So my wife wants to upgrade.
Yeah.
We also are planning a trip around Australia in the near distant future. Mm-hmm. So we're going to need a vehicle capable of towing a caravan around Australia. We also want something a bit more economical because the minivan is quite thirsty on fuel. Yeah. And myself, if I change positions, which I do intend to, I'm going to need a car as well.
How much do you think the caravan thing and...
we haven't fully decided. So the intention is to do it in my long service, which is due now, but we're probably not going to do it till... we were saying 2027, but we are even talking about possibly doing it next year. Yeah. So minimum 3 months, possibly 6, and there's a big difference in cost there. As you can imagine, if we go for 6, I've worked it out to approximately $50,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
3 months would be far less because the long service payments during that would, sort of cover a lot of it. So 3 months would probably only be maybe $20,000 out of pocket.
Yeah. Do you have any other debt?
Only a energy efficiency loan from the government, interest-free for solar panels. I think it's about $7,500, $8,000 left on that.
And does that just kind of like over time? Just it's how long's the term?
3 years, so it's a set term. It's interest-free, but it's $128 a fortnight. And it's a real struggle for me because I typically hate having regular payments coming out when there's an option to not. And given that we could just pay it out, I want to, but then my, logical side of my brain goes, well, you shouldn't because it's interest-free and it's saving you money on solar, so leave it. But then I'm like, but there's $64 a week we could be saving. And so, I struggle with that one. Yeah,
but that's the thing with the interest-free loans, like any type of interest-free loan, when you have loans, and particularly for getting the mortgage, the interest isn't the problem, it's the capital. That's the killer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically, that's a fair snapshot of your current situation.
Yep.
Okay, we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll see where to from here. We'll be back right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au. And they'll point you in the right direction.
Rightio, we've got a snapshot of your situation. Now, if you were going to a financial advisor or someone like that, they would usually say at the top of the kind of meeting, what brings you here today? So I just wanted to get all the data on the table first. So what brings you here today? What do you want clarity on? What would Glen do that you think he needs to do and all that stuff? So in your own words, why did you want to chat about stuff today?
I think we're very scattered. There is one more thing worth mentioning about the looking at doing a career change.
Okay, cool. Talk to me about that.
I'd really like to get into financial advice, speaking of.
Yep.
I've always had a passion for personal finance.
Yep.
Since pretty well as young as I can remember.
Yep.
I was homeschooled, so never had formal education. Never went to uni, or never got an ATAR. So blue collar work, sort of the logical option, and that's sort of what I've fallen into. I've been doing it for about 10 years now.
Was your wife homeschooled?
No. No, she attended school, but then we had kids so young. The first one was unplanned.
And what will you do with schooling for the 8? Well, is the 8-year-old in private, public, or home school?
Private.
Private, yeah. What are the costs for private schools?
They're currently about $4,500 a year total fees.
Yeah, okay.
But that will go up a fair bit once the third one starts, and in a couple of years, because obviously each year goes up.
$15,000 a year or something.
Probably not. I'm thinking like 7 or 8. It's not expensive compared to the mainland.
I've heard in total potentially 15 for the package deal.
No, so that's for the 2 oldest currently.
Okay. Or is it like a Catholic independent school or something?
It's a private Christian school, but no, it's the private school fees around where I live are not that expensive.
Yeah, okay.
So
cool.
I know there's like if I went to say Launceston, I know that you can go to schools there and the fees are $30,000-$40,000.
Yeah,
but there's several private schools on the coast and they're all in that ballpark of in that similar region. So the total is probably only going to be about maybe 7,000 once the youngest starts.
Yeah,
maybe 8.
The career change. Talk to me about that.
It's something I've thought about for years, but always just gone, as I mentioned earlier, it's not really an option to me, just sort of, it's not who I am. And then sort of at the start of this year, I just thought, well, why not? Like, I need to stop making excuses if I want to do it. I'm still young enough. I don't want to be 50 or 60 going, gee, I wish I did that back then.
Yeah, because you'll probably have to do a uni degree.
Yes, that's correct. So I believe it's recently changed to a bachelor's.
Yeah.
But then I need like a study path, which I'm in the current process of trying to find out the exact route to that.
Yeah.
Because of my lack of formal education. I spoke to a local advisor.
Yeah.
About it, and they're trying to find out a study pathway for me, and they potentially would like to put me on. But
Yeah, awesome.
I would need the training first.
Just a question. When did you put the initial 150 in your company?
September 2022. So just coming up 3 years.
September 2022.
Yeah.
And then when did you put the 14K in?
September last year. So yeah, September 2024. They have a dividend policy where they aim to pay a 10% fully franked dividend.
Right, okay.
Which is why, despite the lack of diversity and the illiquidity of it, people are still keen to invest in it.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to work something out now. Yeah, 10%'s good. Is there any type of covenant where you have to work there?
No.
So you could run into the sunset?
Yes, you could, but I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
It's more of I'm not going to call it a moral thing. I'm not sure what I'd call it, but if I left, I don't know if I would still want to be invested in. Some people do. There's no reason you can't. But I just feel like if I was to leave the company, I would probably take my investment with me.
Yeah, okay. And then I'm just doing some ChatGPT. It's funny. I was doing an episode earlier today, and I wanted to know something in a report. Did it, and it was like, it was a public thing, and it was like so wrong. But it's good for just quick numbers.
Yeah.
So the internal rate of return just on the capital is about 7.3% per year. That's just the price, not the dividend.
Yeah.
And in total,
I think it's higher than that. Because I'm assuming you're basing that off 3 years, but it hasn't been valued. It'll be valued in 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. What do we assume? Like,
the first year was 22%.
Yeah, which I've got overall return 22%.
Yeah.
I've got that.
So the first year it was 150 put in. 1 year later it was 183.
Yeah.
And then the following year it was valued at 200, and that was the year I invested an extra 14 in, and that's what it's currently sitting at.
Okay, so if we go, the value is actually, we'll just call it 230 now. Or do you reckon it will?
I don't think it'll
higher?
be. I don't think it'll be as big this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you said 225, maybe.
Yeah. And it's not the be all and end all. It's just interesting to know because will there always be a 10% return?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. But it is one of those things that you sort of go, this probably isn't going to last. But how long do I sit here while it is there?
Yeah. So basically, again, I've literally just thrown this in, and you've probably done the numbers because you said before with the corrected value at 225, the internal rate of return is about 12% per year.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Plus the 10% divs.
Yes.
So, but the overall return on your contributions is over 20%. Over 22%.
Which is their aim. They aim to return over 20.
Yeah. Okay, cool. If you woke up today and you had 200 grand in cash, what would you do with it? Would you put it into
Something
the company?
I'd regret.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're probably going to need potentially $50,000 of cash to do the Australia trip. Our plan is to get a loan for a caravan and a vehicle to tow it around, maybe a combined $100,000, and just accept the payments for the 3 or 6 months, and then just sell them and pay it off, or pay the difference at the end.
Right.
So I would probably put $50,000 aside for our Australia trip.
What does your wife want to do? Like, because you've got things in your kind of notes that you sent in. Do I sell the company shares to pay down the mortgage? Should we use the shares to fund the caravan and car? Do we buy an investment property for regular income? Keep the shares while the dividends remain strong? Upgrading the car. So, yeah, as you said, you've got a lot going on. I think your biggest problem is you need to actually methodically work out an order for all this crap.
Yeah.
So back to, of all the moving parts, what would your wife want to do first, or in terms of everything?
Well, she's also quite keen on the trip around Australia.
Yeah.
I know she would like me to be not having to work away. I work a lot of weekends and overtime, and as we mentioned, working away and that sort of thing. That's putting a real strain, as you can imagine. She wants a new car. She is very whatever about the investment side of things and all that sort of thing. I've tried for years to get her more interested, but she's very much okay, what's going on and what can we spend? Let me know at the end kind of thing. She's just not, we have regular date nights and that sort of thing and try and discuss our finances. So she's very on the same page about, I'm not going to say on the same page, but we're very, we talk a lot regularly about our personal budget and all that sort of thing. But when it comes to the investments and stuff, tries as much, she's just not that interested. So she definitely wouldn't be wanting to invest more. But then my argument to her is, well, if we don't do anything different, if we just keep spending everything we don't invest, then we're going to be in the same position, more or less for the rest of our lives.
So what's your current bank account structure?
A bit of a mess, if I'm honest.
It's like I'm writing my things to do in order. Just from everything you've told me, you guys actually don't have a good spending plan or budget system.
Yep.
Like, am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. It changes a lot, and I don't think as you mentioned earlier, we're not very good at getting really clear on exactly what we want. So we kind of chop and change a lot.
Yeah.
And it reflects in our finances.
Yeah. And I think you need to acknowledge as well, like 3 kids, one that's almost 2, like you guys are young still. In terms of money and craziness, you've had a nuclear bomb dropped on your finances over the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm probably, me personally, and people can do what they want to do, you've got half of so you've got, say, 220 grand, which is a big chunk of your net worth invested in a liquid asset that, like, I'll get the 10% while the going's good, but things aren't forever. I honestly, in terms of that, if it was me, I'd be friggin' probably cashing that out, closing the trust, because you don't need a trust. Like, because, there's probably, $1,000 in Tasmania to do the financials of that every year?
Yeah, if that. It was largely because of the size of the dividend and my partner being the lower income earner.
Yes.
Those dividends were attached with a big franking credit. That was sort of the reason behind it.
You can distribute it to her. Yeah. And I get that, but there is no way on the planet. So what type of loan would you get for the caravan and car?
Oh, I'd probably just a regular, like a car.
Say it.
I don't want to say it. A car loan, a caravan loan.
Yeah, well, a caravan loan is called a personal loan, probably. Yep. There's just no way on the planet I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because you're effectively, you just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think you guys need to really plan out, like this career change thing, for you to go and start in financial advice, and particularly if there's a local firm in Hobart, you will be dropping from 130 to 40K.
Yeah.
You got to go down to 80, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to walk into a job. So you've got at some point a big income drop coming.
Yeah.
If you want to change careers.
Yeah, I do want to, but then I also don't want to do it to the detriment of our family sanity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So,
But would you say, I know obviously general advice and all, but if I was to sell the shares, what would you, I'm not asking for personalised financial advice, but would you pay down the mortgage to try and reduce those payments so we can take that financial hit or what?
No, I think number one, you need to work out, because I don't think you'd know exactly what your costs to wake up of a morning are.
We've got a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But
Well, okay, let's reverse it. Is there money that you have extra every month?
Yes, but it varies a lot because my income doesn't come in neat little packages.
Right.
And neither does Abby's generally.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's so from 1 week, we sort of just have like a minimum, like, our weekly expenses essentially.
Yeah.
This is what we need. This pays the bills and pays the mortgage and puts food on the table.
Yeah.
And then everything over and above that sort of gets split into absolute
Who's the
whirlwind of
mortgage
categories. Westpac.
What's the rate?
Just dropped again. I think it dropped into 5.4 maybe.
Yeah, okay. A little bit high. When was the last time you had someone look at that?
Not for a good 18 months, but 18 months ago I looked at either looking at what we could borrow to either refinance or potentially buy a new place or upgrade.
Yeah.
And because of the interest rates, because I bought that on a 2% loan.
Yes.
With interest rates and obviously the third kid and my partner not working at the time, our borrowing capacity was less than what we started with. So essentially, I think there's a word for it, mortgage prisoner, is it? Mortgage prison? Something like that?
Yeah, you can't refi. Question, when you talked about it being a forever home, if you couldn't build another dwelling on that block, would you just renovate the current house?
That was the original plan. But for what we would want from it, it's a big old house. It's kind of got reasonably good bones, like structurally, but it's a terrible layout and a lot of big costs. You're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get it to sort of the vision of what we dreamed of.
And how much would it cost just to buy one that's done in your area?
I wouldn't save any money by buying one that's done in my area. Yeah, it would be, for what we would want, we'd be, close to $1 million maybe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, do you want to travel around Australia with a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, or do you want to wait till they're a little bit more adult?
My older brother had this exact conversation with me. He thinks it's madness. Maybe we should wait, but there's another side of it. I mean, I've got, like I said, my long service due, and sort of if I leave
3 months?
3 months, at my current average. But then if I leave the industry, say, because I'd like to, be aiming to change in the next couple of years. If I leave it too long and then we leave the industry, we sort of lose that. And it's a little thing, but
lose the long service leave, sorry?
So it's portable as long as you're within the construction industry.
Oh, is that just with the, okay. And how much is that worth as a lump sum?
Oh, that's a good question.
If you cashed it out.
If I was to cash it out, it would be, you'd get taxed a fair bit. I'm not too sure. It would be maybe 20, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
15, 20. So it's it's not nothing. It's just another thing to throw in.
What's more important right now, gun to your head, the career change or going around Australia with the family?
Going around Australia with the family.
Yeah. I'm probably buying, and so how much is the caravan?
That we're looking at? 60, 65 for a good condition secondhand 3-bunk caravan.
Yeah. And then what, a 40 grand four-wheel drive or something?
Yeah, 30 to 40,000.
And then what you're saying is then you will at the end of the trip. How long is it for around Australia?
Well, like I said, we're planning 6 months, but 3 months does make a lot more sense in terms of financially.
Can you hire one for 3 months?
A vehicle or a caravan?
Or a caravan?
I think you can hire a caravan, I'm pretty sure. A vehicle I looked into, but you struggle to find anywhere that will let you drive that far.
Yeah. It's more the caravan.
Yeah, I believe you can. Yeah, I think
have you looked into it?
I have.
Great
I know
detail?
someone from work hired one and it worked out, but they didn't have a triple bunk, so it was a smaller one. And I think it was about 150 a day. I've looked into it very loosely and I think it's in the region of 200 plus a day.
Let's just have a look.
I think for comparison, the loan I was looking at getting was somewhere in the region of over a 5-year period. I think it was about 300 a week, give or take.
But okay, so even if you dropped 20 grand in hiring it, like, yeah, I guess it adds up a bit. I don't know. I think I think this is what I would probably do. You've got to get the emergency fund sorted. This is kind of like your list. I want you to review both your life insurances and piss them off from the Host Plus group policy. Go to Sky Wealth, go to a financial advisor, get decent, well underwritten personal policies paid for by the super fund because you just really want certainty at claim time. They're stronger definitions. They're usually more cost effective. Yep. I want you to sort your wills out and your power of attorneys over each other because that's one and done.
Yeah.
You've got to even do the Glen James spending plan or just have some system. Don't factor in any savings. Just factor in what your base is every week and a minimum. And then any cream that comes in, put that aside to some type of savings.
Yeah.
See if you can, what's your mortgage repayment based on 440?
I think it's currently, like it's just come down again. It's around 600 a week or a little bit over.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be like $2,500 a month-ish?
Yes, that's pretty close.
In your situation, I would be 100% seeing with your income, with your mortgage payment and your lifestyle costs and the school fees, seeing if your salary dropped to 80K, could you leave the status quo at the moment?
No, we'd have to make some changes.
Yeah. So what would those changes be?
Less holidays for a start.
Yeah.
Possibly the private school.
Yeah. Well, like how much a year do you spend on holidays?
Not a huge amount.
Yeah.
But, we do more like, weekends away and sort of thing.
Yeah.
The vast majority of our holidays are local to Tasmania.
Yep. Cool. So
it's just another thing we'd have to cut out though,
Does the mortgage have an offset account?
Yes, but we don't really use it.
Yeah. So I know St. George will let you have multiple offset accounts.
Yeah.
So you could get different ones, have one for emergency fund, have one for, I teach gifts, clothes, holidays, Christmas, have one for holidays and use a different bank for your spending. So to have $8,000 with up and not on your offset is considered lunacy.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Because the up interest rate's probably 4.
Yeah.
Where if it was on your offset, it's 5.5.
Yeah.
So
tax free.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'd be doing that tomorrow. Flip it, like I use Up Bank, but I just use it for my day-to-day, week-on-week.
Yeah.
As a bit of an advanced play on the Glen James spending plan. I think I've got, last time I looked, in the savers account, I've got $500 in there, just as my mini kind of spare money. That's just $500 isn't a huge amount, but if something comes up that's $100 one week and I didn't expect it, I pull it out of that Up saver.
Yeah.
If the end of it's Wednesday today, I get paid my weekly salary from my cash hub tonight. At the moment, there is about $100 in my Up account that I haven't used this week.
Yeah.
I'll just put the $100 over to that little saver.
Yeah.
So
And so all your like bills and rent and all that sort of stuff all comes
It's
out
all
of a
out
separate
of my offset. Yeah.
Yeah,
With a different bank.
we have a separate bills fund with Ubank, and that's where all of our anything that we can specifically calculate each month and direct debit, like your mortgage or your
But
insurance.
that should be an offset account.
Yeah,
So you just really need to optimize. Go to St. George and be like, I want 4 offset accounts. Cash hub, salary goes in. Emergency fund, we just use our day-to-day. We pay ourselves weekly from that.
Yeah.
And that would change your life. I'm probably then, again, if this was me, you need to get your own financial and tax advice. You've got 230, you've pretty much got 165 grand of your own money that has gone into that investment, right?
Yeah.
So your own capital, call it 220 grand. If you can get an exit event, or if I could take that money, get out of there, because at some stage you're not going to be working for them.
Yeah.
Because you want to do something else with your career.
Yeah.
Sure, knock yourself out. Buy the caravan, buy the car, put the rest on the offset account. That reduces the mortgage. And then when you've done the trip around Australia, make sure you sell the caravan. And would you keep the four-wheel drive?
No, we'd be more likely to keep the caravan, but
Okay.
if we were going to, we would pay it out.
Yeah. I just think no loans for caravan.
Yeah.
Just, this is what I would do. Beef up the emergency fund, because I think you guys, you've done the kid thing there. You've stopped collecting them. So now it's a reset.
Yeah.
Now let's go forward. It's a new era. And then after I get back from the trip, then you look at the career thing and change the career, but really optimize your because even if you had 100 grand sitting on offset, and I know it's been hard with Abby, not working full time and all that with the kids and just going back now. When you don't have systems in place and money's there and it creeps in and all that, and I think it's the case with you, it's been kind of death by 1,000 cuts, because it's like, oh, we've got this money in our emergency fund. We just keep putting our hands in it because there's been no system.
Yeah.
So
we've had multiple systems, but they change, and we don't stick with them.
That's right.
The problem.
And if you haven't tried my system, try it and fully commit to it. Do you have a credit card?
No.
Good. And then if you can't keep your mitts on it, you may have to pay a little bit of tax on that money coming out. Just check. You sure there's no losses in that trust from when you put money into that other entity?
How do you mean?
So it just depends if the trust loaned the other entity money, so loaned it post-tax or purchased the shares.
The trust purchased the shares itself.
Right.
The other entity is simply the trustee, so it's
yeah, but at some point that was going to be the dialer welder company.
Yes.
So there's that company stopped traded. The question is, were there any losses that you can't distribute a loss? It might be stuck in the company. I'll be check with your accountant. Like, is there any losses in that trustee company? Are there any losses sitting in the trust?
I remember, I couldn't tell you for sure. I remember at the time, because we were going to use that company, and then the obviously the share thing, as I explained, came in, and we changed it all. We went, okay, well, we already had our trust set up and the company. We changed it to simply as a tax thing, really, to having the company, which was now just sitting there and useless. It was either that or we sort of closed it down. Changed it to just being the trustee for our 3 trusts. And our accountant wrote a letter to ASIC essentially explaining the situation, and it gave us an exemption from having to do like BAS and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because it's not a trading company.
Yes, it's essentially doing nothing. Yeah, that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, okay. And then I'm probably just winding up that trust, because 2 PAYGs, you won't need that trust.
Yeah, that's assuming obviously sell the shares so you don't have that income. So, yeah.
That's right. And then the Vanguard that the trust owns, you'd probably just do some housekeeping and either, just sell them out, close the trust. Trust got a bank account?
Yes.
Yeah, just maybe for an end of next financial year, just do housekeeping. Because that 10% growth isn't unlimited forever.
Yeah.
Like, there will come a time
I'm well aware of
where
this. I think
there will be no dividends this year.
My brother's more rose-coloured glasses about it than I am, but I've sort of thought that I'm like, it's not going to last forever. So it's sort of one of those things where you go, well, it's at the moment a bit too good to walk away from, but I understand it's not going to continue that way.
So if you've got, I'm just doing 90 in super plus, we'll just call it 10 in Abbey super plus, we'll just say 200,000 of equity in your house, right? Plus $220,000 in the company. That's
Plus Vanguard.
Oh yeah, plus $14,000 plus $15,000 car. That's so your combined net worth at the moment, give or take, is around 550, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't. When I do it, I don't usually include super or cars only because they're
Well, it's an asset.
That's.
I mean, the car's only worth.
Yeah.
Sure, take the 15 grand off, still around 550.
Yeah.
So and your super, it's absolutely part of your net worth.
Yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely. So the question is, do you want 40% of your net worth in an unlisted thing, single stock?
No.
Generally, you probably wouldn't, but I get it. Like if you look at like your Zuckerbergs and your Steve Jobs when he was around, and insert founder here. Yeah. Well, look at Musk. Like probably the concentration of his net worth. Yeah. He's probably got 80% or more in Tesla.
Yeah.
But he's also a billionaire, and if he lost half of his net worth, he's still fine. If it's just very high risk, because with your net worth, and I think you've done very well to be 27 with 90K in super and a 500K net worth. It's too risky. That what if 1 year, no dividends this year, and we've just had it valued, and because we lost those 2 contracts, the bastard, your share's only worth 180 now. Yeah. Like the pendulum will swing so fast, and it's not worth anything until that money is in your bank account.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's getting a bit risky for me, but that's what I would do.
Would you consider, like, say, almost hedging your bets and say selling half, or
you could.
Would I be better off sort of one or the other, do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, you're going to, like, if fast forward 5 years, are you going to still be there? I would hope within the next few years that you do start to change your career.
Certainly the intention, but it's, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, probably the Kia Carnival, you'd probably just beg, borrow and steal and keep that until after the trip around Australia.
Yeah.
So buy the Everest or whatever. What are you going to get?
Probably we're thinking maybe an Amarok only because I've been told they're good towing, but...
Yeah, don't buy an Amarok for around Australia.
Okay.
Do you
Any recommendations?
Prado or Everest?
Yeah. Why's that?
2 of the most popular selling cars in Australia. Yep. There's a higher chance of parts being in country towns when chat hits the fan.
I had not thought of that. Thank you.
Yeah. You just got to do it. Like, don't dick around with this European stuff.
Yeah.
Keep the Carnival. Sure. This year, go, I want to divest, 50% of my holdings. Buy your car, buy your caravan. Before you guys go away, sell the Kia, be one car family for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then when you get back, use the money because you want to upgrade to a 40, like a more fuel efficient car. probably sell the four-wheel drive that you used around Australia and put that into the new family car.
That's what we were sort of leaning to, but
Or
at
just
the
get a
moment
diesel and just use the
very
diesel.
up in the air. We're thinking maybe a hybrid or something like a 7-seater hybrid.
Yeah.
But it's very, very up in the air at the moment. No hard and fast, but that is what we were sort of leaning to. We go, okay, when we're ready, we buy the four-wheel drive, whatever's going to be good towing, get to the end, sell it, and then buy the...
But don't buy brand new.
No, we won't.
Yeah, just get a couple of years old because you're basically using it just to get bugs and rocks on it for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then maybe book it in, clean up your act until then, and then come mid next year. I don't know when the best seasons are for what you want to do.
Definitely want to do it in winter.
Yeah, so
I'm from Tasmania. It'd be way too hot if I go in summer.
And you really want the dry season anyway, because you're going to need probably 20 grand of fuel.
Yeah.
So that's your long service payout.
Yeah, gone.
So, yeah, I don't know. Book it in. Because I get it. Like, you want the life experiences.
Yeah.
And that's a value. Like, I had a gun to your head and you said trip around Australia. Not the career change first.
It's, we've been talking about the trip around Australia for years.
Yeah.
But it was always sort of, at some point maybe. I didn't read, I audio booked, you would have heard of Die with Zero, which there's a lot of things in there I sort of, didn't really agree with, but it did have some really good points.
Yeah, but you're also not 70 with $3 million that, you're not going to spend.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
It was one of those things that having had kids so young, I feel like, that part of it's running out of time a bit. I'm running out of time to make those early memories a little bit. That's how I feel.
Seriously, you're 27, you've got money, you got relatively low cost of living. By next June, July, you'll almost have a 3-year-old. Just book it in for next year and sort it out.
Yeah.
If there's a liquidity event coming up soon, sure, pull 100 grand out.
Do you reckon just do 3 or 4 months maybe so it's not as big of a hit financially or?
Well, you're just going to have to, like as in travel or?
Yeah, just like in terms of, travelling, would you probably not go the full 6?
I don't know. Have you done any travelling in the caravans before? Do you like caravanning? No, we'll hire a bastard.
We like the idea of it.
Yeah, we'll hire a bastard, throw it on the carnival and friggin' try it for a long weekend somewhere a couple of times. Because you just don't want to be doing this all or nothing.
That's been my whole life.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem for me.
Yeah. And just be methodical. Both agree our reason for living right now is to prepare for the 3-month trip around Australia. But you've never caravan before, you could hate it.
Yeah. Maybe one long weekend and the whole Australia trip will be out the window.
We'll scratch the itch.
Yeah.
Or, all right, stuff yous, we're going up to Bali for 3 months to live.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I just think if you fast forward 3 years, you're going to be 30. You're still young enough to do a career change, but you just really want to be intentional about getting your finances consolidated, ready for a 40 or 50K income drop.
So if I was to sell my shares, probably keep as much of that as possible.
On the offset. Just and if you can't keep your mitts off it, just pay it straight down onto the mortgage.
And like remove the redraw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that idea because for me, if I have $100,000 sitting in a bank account,
you'll spend the bastard.
It's one of the reasons, as much as the liquidity of the company is a big problem, it's one of the things I like about it because I probably decide to sell all of my shares about 15 times a year, but I only need about a 2-week window to not do it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's why I was really clear. It's like, what does your wife want to do? Because it's us, it's not me.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, no idea, do what you want. I'm Jeff from Survivor. I got nothing for you. Take your stuff and get back to camp. But yeah, you need to get your emergency fund sorted. I want you to get a proper life insurance review for both of you. Go spend $800 on your wills and power of attorney documents. Do the Glen James spending plan. Change your spending system. Try camping or caravanning. Go and hire one. Has the Kia got a tow ball?
It hasn't, but my work we can use.
Oh, yeah, use that. Yeah, just go hire a caravan for your reason for leaving between now and December this year is to book in 2 long weekends in the caravan.
Yeah.
And then if you can get a liquidity event with the company, see if you can, and talk with your accountant, maybe take 50% out now.
Would you recommend in my situation, is it worth getting financial advice, or probably don't need it?
I don't know if you need quote unquote financial advice. I can't recommend anything. This is just what I would do. I think most financial advisors would be like, seems a bit over the top, but I don't know. I don't think you need it at the moment. Maybe some isolated stuff around the insurance, but build your life around what your goals are. And your current goals in your life is 1, the Australia trip, 2, your career change. Does your wife have any of her own personal goals that you're aware of? If not, have you asked her?
We do talk about it a lot, but she's very hard to get clear. As I said before, I'll very often go, well, what do you think? And she'll go, I don't know, what do you think? And it's very hard to get, at least financially.
Don't ask your wife what she thinks. Ask your wife, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then if she doesn't know your reason for living at the moment until, she's just been through baby land and all that, your reason for living is to be a good dad, and if she to support her goals and her life.
Yeah.
And then there'll be times where it'll be time for her to do a career change. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of about you, the family goals at the moment and the travel. Then it's your career, so your goals, which will help the family too because you'll be at home more.
Yeah.
In another few years, it could be time for Abby to go, all right, now I really want this for my life. Yeah. And that's where you will stand up and support her goals.
Yeah.
But lots going on. Don't overcomplicate it. It's worth what you paid for it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. They're funny old chats, aren't they? Do you feel you've got any type of clarity?
Yeah, I actually do. I think, you're sort of telling me a lot of stuff I probably deep down already knew, but it's so good to hear it from someone to go, you need to get clear on what you want, because it's one of those things that I'm well aware that we're just very directionally scattered with our goal. We have so many big goals, and we're lucky to have the capacity to do almost any of them, but not all of them, or not more than one of them.
Well, the house and the renovation, that's not before your career or the trip around Australia.
Probably not for 20 years anyway.
Well, no. That's the house, because one, it hasn't come up as a really want to renovate.
Yeah.
I wasn't hearing it I don't know. I'd probably also, just for housekeeping, just pay off that AK loan if you are cashing out your shares.
Yeah. Yep.
You're allowed to pay off debt that's interest-free, people. People, I'm not. No, you're allowed to pay off debt. For the ones at the back, it's interest-free. Oh, that's cute. Who cares? Interest ain't my problem. It's messing with my psychology. It's messing with my cash flow every week. It's giving me an aneurysm. It's giving me a stroke. Everyone's saying I'm crazy for not. It's shut up. This is my own personal situation. This is my own life. I will do what I want to do in concert with, obviously, talking with my family and our goals. Tell your brother to go away. Tell your friends to go away. All right, see ya.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services licence 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective licence holders.